Hello. In this video, I wanted to talk about organic shapes that have underlying structure and organic shapes that do not have underlying structure. So in the past, you may have seen me draw like a sausage shape. And a shape like this, it was always a bit ambiguous whether it has anything within it that could signify a structure. I guess you can kind of think that yeah, it does because it's maintaining some type of shape and it's kind of not just like goopy. Like I would think if it lacks structure, the this line right here would probably just conform right with the ground that it lies upon. But because it doesn't, you kind of have that shape to it, and obviously there are contours around this shape that keep it like that. So you would think that there would be some, well, this line that I drew, there's like some underlying structure that says something is keeping it like that. And it's a bit confusing, I would say, because organic shapes just span a very wide variety of things. But the thing is, I think two good comparisons would be a human flexing like their arm muscle and a snail, which is an invertebrate. Because vertebrates lack any of that structure. They have like some, but I mean they really lack it. So if we were to draw an arm, for example, I'm going to do this really crudely. I don't really have a lot of experience drawing arms, and I'm drawing arm kind of off screen that I got off like the first page of Google. I don't have the rights to it anyway, otherwise I would show it. So the arm, I'm going to cap it off without drawing the hand, because, forgive me, as I cannot draw hands. And I should have capped it off, like, here. So the thing about this arm, right, well, I'll try to draw the hand to the best of my ability. I said to the best of my ability, doesn't mean it's going to be good. That was too big. It's a thumb right there. Okay. I guess I should have drawn it like that. Okay, so there's a lot of other muscles. I'm not really, there's like some other definition that's really kind of hard to see. But the point of this is an arm that's flexing. It's not not the best. I think I made this gap too wide, but it's an arm that's flexing, right? And it's an organic shape. So it's the arm of a person. And the thing about that is, even though I'm not drawing the internal structure for it, I mean, there are just so many surface details on this that show that there's bone, and the bone is the underlying structure. So, like, there is, like, if you were to think of it, there is, like, a bone here and a bone here, and there's also bones in the wrist, and I know that, like, each finger has a bone as well that makes it up. But the important thing to, like, note is, like, you have all of this structure that makes up this organic. So the thing is, if looking at it in a different perspective really changes how you would view it. You really, like, compared to the simple sausage shape that I've drawn time and time again, that's like a very simplified version of like what makes this up. Because you really can't say this is a sausage shape at all, because we have the underlying bone structure which we can't see. We could see some details of it. I don't really know the anatomy of this. So there's some underlying anatomy that makes all these bones connected, and on top of that, there's this muscle that like wraps around the bone. So if you were to think of it as anything, like I'm just drawing this as a cylinder, uh, it's not just important. The big picture idea is that there's an underlying structure in which all of these other additional forms are wrapping around it. It's like the scaffolding to our human bone. And I know this isn't right, because if I did have an idea of the bones, I would probably try to draw it. I'm not really ever focusing on human anatomy, so this is like extremely out of my comfort zone. Because I know the bones like here, and it would be something like that. There's a lot of variation between people as well when it comes to all the different muscle definition and whatnot. But the important thing is to know that there's a structure that keeps it held in that place, comparing all the bones that wrap around it. Now, if to the side, if I was to draw a snail, snails do not have a backbone. I mean, you think they would have some structure to kind of stay up. I don't exactly understand how they stay up. Maybe I should have done a slug instead, but, you know, slugs, I think slugs, like, are their snail? I don't think they have it. They're like, you know, snails are their shell. They don't have a shell. They're like turtles. Like, if you ever look at the skeleton of a turtle, they're like, you can't, and much to the chagrin of many people, like in Mario games, a turtle can't leave its shell. It is its shell. It's grown on its body. It's like a fingernail, and it couldn't live without it. I believe that's the same thing for the snail. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Please don't be too brutal to me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. But so we're drawing this snail, and our snail. Well, the bottom of him is very flat because our snail. Well, I did that bad compared to the reference. In the reference, the important thing is that the bottom of our snail lays flat on the ground, so it's like it's not really being held up by anything. Let me draw the other parts of the snail that I can see. I don't know what that is. A mouth? Probably to eat something. I don't know what. Maybe other snails? Our snail's got like an eye, or a sear, or whatever it is. It's got another one as well. And this snail also has a shell. I'm not going to try to draw all the coils of the shell. It's pretty cool though. Something like that. But for demonstration purposes, it's got like something like that as well. So it lays flat. I kind of made it a bit more curved than I should have. My apologies. I'm actually going to try to cut that out just to show you one more time, because I think that area is extremely important to show that it is laying flat on the ground. It's not doing it's not like it doesn't have a structure. It just like falls flat. But that is the important thing, that it lays flat on the ground with that. A little off, way off from the actual drawing, but I'm just trying to quickly explain it. I probably should have drawn the shell first, but but you'll see how it lays flat, which is the important thing. Much like our sausage shape that I had before. Like this sausage shape that I drew had a structure to it, otherwise it would be laying flat. I guess you could say that this sausage is a bit more similar to that arm that's kind of flexing, compared to our snail friend here, in which it's kind of like a bit more, well, you know what, I gotta make it real flat. It's kind of more like that, in which as this snail is lying on the ground, it's flat. You know, nothing's really helping hold up that. I keep thinking scaffolding. Yeah, I think scaffolding is a good analogy, compared to the bones being like the scaffolding of a house compared to a snail that lacks it. So I hope this kind of helps show that certain organic shapes have more structure than others. Both have their use cases in drawing. But yeah, I hope this kind of helps. If you do have a question, please ask in the comments. I hope you could disregard some of my not so good drawings. But yeah, if you have a question, ask in the comments. If you like the video, please like it. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.